Good evening, Metas. We're broadcasting to you from the polluted zone and it's interfering with our connection. So we have a limited amount of time to convey a lot of information. You will have noticed that the pollution zones of Nalcott have undergone vast changes. Instead of rapidly losing your sanity, no matter how close your sanity pollution resist is to meeting immunity for the area, the closer you are, the slower your sanity will drain. So handling pollution zones is now a numbers game that gives you a variety of ways of tackling it. You can shoot for pure immunity, easily achieve as a chef, as clear-minded buffs of different numerical ratings will stack. Or with a little finesse, you can achieve this as non-chefs as well. Tier 5 gear provides 80 resistance, so there's only 120 to make up from other sources to ensure safety no matter the zone. Unfortunately, our old pal Chefosaurus cannot enhance the clear-minded buffs of the ales. So, we'd have to get creative. By syncing with a combat deviation fused with a toilet for the pollution adaptation trait, we can get an additional 20. Wearing a deviant sprout upon your head also provides 100 resistance and stacks with all other sources. These can be easily mass farmed by intentionally triggering hunting parties upon your group. Hunting parties can only be triggered in visional zones. Normal pollution zones, which are unmarked on your map until you find them, will not trigger hunting parties. Chefs can make high sanity restoration foods that can be used by anyone by combining milk, honeys, and deviated mushrooms. These can be valuable in those moments where you're a bit under the pollution requirements but don't have a way to increase your resistance further. Throw in a piece of steel, and now it's canned for long-term storage. Should you choose to continue to embrace a low HP life, you have two sources of emergency clearing of unwanted negative whims in the field. I say emergency because both of these items have a long cooldown now. Your standard blue sanity gummies will clear one negative whim from you. Homestyle noodles made from the Hug in a Bowl deviation will clear all of your negative whims, but it also fully restores your sanity. Living the pollution is still possible. There are categories of zones for building in them. We'll call them the low pollution and high pollution. Normal, and as far as I can tell, all hard zones are in low pollution state. Pro zones exist in the high pollution state. High pollution state requires almost 10 times the resources to reinforce compared to low pollution state. So it is not recommended to build in pro zones. Your cost of reinforcement also scales off two factors personal to your territory, your base rating, and how many facilities you have. Facilities increase your cost faster than building walls or decorating with furniture. You also don't have to have your base 100% in the pollution zone to benefit from the zone. You just need to have more than half. You'll know you're in deep enough when your territory terminal warns you that you're under decay. It is important to know that if your territory is marked as polluted, meaning things built outside the zone but in your territory will decay, while also allowing you to use that space for Stardust mining platforms and polluted water pumps. Speaking of reinforcement, we don't have to pay for it only Stardust ingots. If you have Stardust ore or Stardust ores, it can be paid for with those or a combination of three. That being said, raw ore is actually the most efficient way to pay for it from a crafting standpoint. One ingot requires 60 ore and 15 swords to craft. If you're crafting your swords, that brings the raw ore value of your ingots to 67.5 ore, plus a little bit of gas, and as well as the craft time. It only takes 62.5 ore to replace one ingot in the reinforcement calculations. However, paying in straight Stardust ores is unadvised if you're crafting it. It takes 357 raw ore worth of crafted stardust to replace one ingot. Closing out tonight's broadcast will provide you with quick battle tips for the types of zones. Wild zones, you must engage in close quarters combat. Enemies will become immune if you shot them from a distance. Also, do not be afraid of our old friend, the Fool. They are now vulnerable to all damage types from close range. Virtual realms provide damage resistance depending on state. Solid state takes full damage from physical damage, and void state, which are transparent enemies, take full damage from elemental damage. Lastly, the mirror zone. It provides damage immunity to your enemies when you engage them from the front, flank them, or approach them from the rear. Mirror zones have an additional trick upon their sleeve of preventing you from teleporting out of them. Happy hunting and happy building, metas.